The Admissions Club was created as a soft place to land for students and families going through what can be a particularly stressful time in one's life, the college admissions journey. Hi, I'm your host, Elizabeth West. This podcast will feature inside information from my 10 years of college admissions experience and 25 years in higher education. Episodes are sprinkled with 80s nostalgia to connect with your students during that turbulent time we all experienced. We will learn together in fun and engaging conversations with guests who are key players in higher education and admissions, or they could be someone just like you going through the process of admissions. Whether you're a brain, an athlete, a basket case, a princess, or a criminal, there's a spot for you in the Admissions Club. Welcome back to the Admissions Club. Today, I want to talk to you about fit. And the episode title is Pride in the Name of Love. And it is all about colleges you may love, but in name only. And a little background on this song that I chose as our episode title. This is a song that really revs me up, right? You know, this is U2. This is the song that I played in my car when I got my first car that I bought by myself, and I cranked it up. It is one of those tunes that just gets you motivated. And so it's fitting that I chose this tune to talk about prestige versus fit, because this is my mantra. This is the thing that I tell all of my students, and it's kind of like an overarching philosophy that I have in my business. So let's talk about it. In today's admissions, you are finding that there is a lot of prestige going around, and prestige in the form of colleges having name recognition, and then they are more difficult to get into because they have a record number of applications. I know you've heard this. This is all sounding familiar. But, I think when you look at that, when you look at prestige, you also need to consider, do I fit at this school? And if the answer is yes, by all means, apply to this school that is your dream school. But I want you to consider the fit aspect and not just the name recognition. So let's get into it. So why does fit have to be your priority? Why does it matter? And we want to look at this from a very individualistic perspective. We want to look at it based on who you are and what you can bring to that school, but what that school can bring to you. So you can go to a very fancy, very elite name brand college, and you can get maybe a leg up in networking because you have alumni that are really connected in a number of different areas that you want to go into. Or just the prestige factor of laying it on to people that I graduated from here might give you a lot of personal satisfaction, and it may or may not be a determining factor in getting into graduate school or getting the job of your dreams. So there are a lot of reasons why name recognition works and why it keeps going. But I have seen so many students in my years of admissions and teaching at the community college. I have seen students where fit is not in the equation. It was all about prestige, and prestige caused them misery at school. Let me tell you a few stories. And these are stories of students that had a missed fit, okay? They were people that went into college with all of the best of intentions, but maybe they had a little more of a romanticized viewpoint about what their experience was going to be on campus. So, let me give you a story about a student I taught who was a tennis pro. She went to a school that was very large and very difficult to get into, very competitive. And professors didn't allow her to make up assignments when she was at major tournaments. That was a problem for this student. This student was highly intelligent, but she was highly talented in the field of tennis. So she needed a institution, she needed faculty to kind of work with her on her schedule. She actually was dropping out of school because of numerous attendance violations. Now, that could be for a number of reasons. But I thought, that really wasn't a good fit for you because they didn't accommodate to your schedule of being a tennis pro. And maybe you needed perhaps a smaller college where you would know the professor and you could negotiate some kind of system where when you were absent, you could make up that work. So accommodations could have been met. And they may well could have been met at that school that she went to, but it just screamed that it was a misfit. Another student that I had went to a top technical uh, engineering college, and he wanted to go to this school because they were number one in the country in engineering, and he wanted to get a degree from this said school. He found himself overwhelmed by the numbers of students at that school. The number of students that were in his freshman classes was way too overwhelming for him. So he stopped going to class. He stayed in his room and he played video games and actually contracted a staph infection due to his immobility. Was that a situation where this student was lazy or they just couldn't get it together or, all of those things? Or was he a victim of a missed fit? Was he a victim of really not knowing what kind of college to go to and just looking at the quality of the education, which is absolutely important. But I feel like the quality of your education and your comfort at that institution should go hand in hand. Third story I'm going to tell you is a student who is on the autism spectrum. She was a very inquisitive student, very inquisitive student. And she was told by a faculty member at a college that she went to that she asked too many questions and that she was a disruption to the class setting. She needed to reconsider going to college. Okay, so in my mind as an admissions officer, I'm thinking this is a mismatch for a number of reasons. That it seems obvious that they don't have a good support system for students on the spectrum or even showing any learning differences. So that's one thing. The second thing is that their faculty is not trained in how to handle students with different abilities. When I heard that student received that feedback, I was very upset to hear her story. So, fit matters. Fit means that not only are you going to a campus where you can fit in, but you can actually belong at that campus. So, how do you assess fit? What does fit mean in terms of your overall college search? And let me talk to you about why you should choose fit first, and then I'm going to give you some tips on how to assess fit. Okay, so why choose fit? Well, I think that your happiness in college has a lot to do with your success in college. So, when you belong at that college or university, and when that feels like home to you, that makes you a more productive student. So, happiness is a reason why you should choose fit. Secondly, if you are happy and productive, the second reason is that you will have successful outcomes. Not only will you be an A or B student, okay? We want to look at grades, but we also want to see that productive and happy students are able to jump at opportunities that may not be available to you if you've relegated yourself to your dorm room, right? So, a happier, productive person is also a successful person at that college through outcomes. So you had a great internship. You had an excellent term abroad opportunity, or maybe you had a volunteer opportunity that informed the way you are going to spend the rest of your career. These things happen because you fit at that school. And then the third reason, if you're happy and productive and you have successful outcomes, why you are poised for academic success, for career success. So you are poised to get into that graduate school that you want to get into, or you have the ability to just knock it out of the park in that interview at that corporation that you want to get into. So it is a process of fit that it is that you can see the outcomes and you can see the value of a good fit. So, there are some ways to assess fit, and I want to talk to you about them because I think it's important that, how in the world fit sounds great, Elizabeth. Fit sounds wonderful. How am I going to get it? And you're going to get it through a number of research aspects that you're going to look at. Okay? So when you are looking in your college search, when you are looking at fit as well as prestige or the name of the college, keep in mind that the campus visit is very important. When you step on that campus, do you feel that you could be at home there? Do you feel that people are generally happy here? That you feel like you could contribute to that community in a way that is meaningful and intentional? Those are big questions to ask, but those are things you want to consider in terms of fit. Then you're going to do your research, okay? So your campus visit is very important. Your research on that college is extremely important as well. So what are you researching? Are you researching the academic benefits of being at that college or university? Not necessarily ratings. I don't know. Ratings can be a little dubious, but I think that when you look at the programs, maybe you want to look at the course catalog to see which courses they offer and really kind of dig into the academic aspect. Do they offer the courses and the programs that I'd be interested in? Even if you are an undecided student, you might want to consider that. You want to consider the location. If you're not a big city person, then you should not go to school in New York City. Okay. So looking at the location, and do not discount location if it is in maybe a rural area, because the hidden benefit to a rural area is that you are able to have all of your activities on campus. That those kind of campuses are highly plugged in and they are a tight community. So you may find that that college campus is a community in and of itself that is very active and satisfying to you. And the other thing is managing expectations. And we're going to talk a lot about managing expectations, but in terms of fit, what is it that you really need out of that college? And what is it that you just want? Okay. Do you really need your own bathroom, for example? Or can you deal with a communal bathroom if everything else is meeting your list? Everything else is meeting your expectations. Maybe there are compromises that you make for fit, and that those are things that you need to decide on. But when we look at colleges, what I want you to consider is that you are living there on campus, that you are really giving yourself to that college or university. And it is a lifelong decision that you've made. So what you want to consider is, can you be successful there? And can you feel at home at that college or university? So the name is important, but it may be only important in name only. You need to consider fit. Okay, we're going to be talking about this a whole lot because this is absolutely one of the things that I truly believe in and truly think that we need to talk about more. And we will. So thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for listening to the Admissions Club podcast. Be sure to check out our Admissions Club playlist on Spotify for all of those Gen X vibes. If you're looking for one-on-one coaching on the college admissions process, my company EWC Consulting can help. Email me at elizabeth@ncewc.com. Check out our website at ncewc.com or follow us on Facebook at ncewc. All of those links are in the show notes. Invite your friends to join the club. Be sure to subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Can't wait to see you in our next episode.